Hello. We're back. What's up, everybody? It's like sad Italian, like you're at the place that, I used to love this place called Lido's. And it was my favorite little old Italian eatery that me and Andrea would go to. And they had great garlic knots and really good sangria. And it was family owned, and the plants were all plastic and dusty. And man, was it fun. Yeah.
I'm familiar with Lido's Cabaret.
No. This is Lido's Italian. Lido's Cabaret is good too. Yeah, well, Lido's was fun, man. And the daughter would wait on you every single time. And the dad was back there cooking the food. It was good. It was fun. Those places are really hard to find these days, you know? You're a regular at a mom and pop. Do you have that? I don't think I have that. Well, no, I do. I guess the current sort of counts.
Yeah.
It's small business. But that's all I got. I don't have any, like it is, and I think he changed his brand. I think he's now the current seafood station, not seafood counter. Could be wrong on that, but I do pay attention to that shit.
Okay.
And I saw his branding come through, and I believe it said Seafood Station. Somebody in the chat room, look that up.
He uses Danger Brain, so it's probably like it's very cohesive.
It is good alliteration. Seafood Station. Sounds good, right? Seafood Station sounds good. Oh, Tracy, you saw it too. Okay, cool. Confirmed. There you go.
Maybe because
he's always dialing it in.
Counter, like, confuse someone. Like, is it a wholesale seafood or something? I don't know. Like,
didn't think about services. That. Okay, no, counter. I didn't think of it. Okay, yeah. Like you're going to buy in bulk to take home and cook my shrimp.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a dodo, and that's what I sometimes that would come to my head if I didn't know anything.
Seafood Station would make me think space station, like, and now we're in space.
Did you see the video from the Blue Origin?
I saw Gayle King looking very scared.
When it's coming back down, like pilot parachutes come, and then those break away to the bigger parachutes, and it looks scary.
Do you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it a little bit. All right. Would you like to begin?
Sure.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So, did you see the video of the Blue Origin all-female space flight that just happened yesterday?
I did. I'm glad you're calling it a space flight, not a mission. I'm glad you're also not calling them astronauts because they're not.
No.
Gayle King, I did see, was terrified, and when
it's a ride.
Yeah, on the video before they got in, you could see how terrified she was, and she even did an interview to talk about that because people were like, "Why would you look so crazy?" And she's like, "I literally," and I have this. What she talked about is me. She was like, "I just wanted to get to my chair and do my training." That's me. Like, I'm definitely that when I'm getting on something or something, like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, this could go very wrong.
Yeah, it could go very wrong. Yeah.
And
it absolutely could go very wrong.
And in all the rocket launches that are, manned, the ones that go wrong, it's real bad.
Yeah.
There's not many survivors.
No, it gets really wrong.
Yeah. That's, once you're exploding or burning up on reentry or whatever, like.
Which would you rather, explode or burn up?
Explode.
Me too.
Because the burning up, imagine it happens.
What if it just gets from my knees down and then I'm flying through the air as a torso? You didn't think about that. Maybe incineration would be the way to go. Because it would get all of you. I don't want the thing to explode, and let's say that when it blew up, it just blew from the center of my calves and my feet off, and then I whip. Who is that?
I don't know. God,
answer it live on the show.
All right, hold on. I guarantee you it's oh God.
What is it?
No.
Is it Cliff Winkler?
No, it's always a scam.
Oh, I thought it was Cliff from the Weekly.
No.
But yeah, I'd rather. Maybe I'd rather burn. It's a quick burn, not a long burn.
And once you're rocketed into the atmosphere at that height, you would immediately be rendered unconscious because there's no oxygen. But then you'd come back to consciousness right around like 20,000 feet and then be awake till you die.
Where am I? Yeah!
That's bad. Waking up, falling.
I do every night.
Yeah.
Every night when I wake up in my dreams, I wake up, I'm just like plummeting to my death.
But it did look cool. Like they were obviously... they just rocketed up there, and then they just fall. And while you're falling, you look like you're in space, which you kind of are. but you're really just at the upper echelon
the
of the
edge
atmosphere.
of space.
Yeah, and then, but it looks, I mean, you're looking around, you're like, whoa, the Earth, you're high as hell.
Is it the equivalent of saying, I had a layover in NYC? Right? It's the equivalent of having a layover in the city. You didn't visit the city. You were there.
Yes,
but you didn't visit it. You didn't see the sights.
You have to be in orbit to really be
correct
an astronaut.
Speaking of that, you're going to New York soon, aren't you? Like, I'm sure we're going to talk about it whenever, but I'm excited for you. That's going to be super fun. I've never been to the city.
Me neither.
I've been to upstate New York and all around there many, many times, and New York is beautiful, and there are the same stereotypical Italians there and hillbillies, and there are rednecks in upstate New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just straight up rednecks everywhere.
You know, we're going to see Gervais and then do the standard sightseeing stuff. And then,
that'll be fun.
And
you're going to eat a big slice of pizza?
Yeah,
Hey, gabagool!
Crystal got us some sort of reservations at this tiny pizza restaurant that's supposed to have the best pizza in the world.
We went to that place in San Francisco.
This is
so you've been to two. So you're going to say you've been to two.
Well,
because we had the World Championships. The guy came out and gave us our pie. Remember, I looked at him in the picture.
Yeah. But this one, the pizzas are like $80 a piece or something crazy.
Oh my God.
And then it's Max follows this YouTuber.
I thought your sons hated pizza.
No,
they're into pizza
now.
Okay.
That's all they really. I mean, that's all really Max will eat. They don't eat anything else.
What kind of pizza?
So
what's he like?
Picky. Cheese
pizza. All right.
It's just, the boringest pizza
But this
of all
is the
time.
most world famous cheese pizza you could ever have.
It's considered the best, not world famous because it's tiny, and then you have to have a reservation months in advance.
That's neat.
And the only reason we knew it is because this YouTuber went there and I guess did a review.
That's cool.
But it's I forgot the kid's name, but he's young blonde broccoli. He's some huge YouTuber.
There's a version of the broccoli now that I've noticed that I don't understand, and I'm not necessarily anti it, but it is odd. It's the shelf broccoli where the hair comes out. And it's got a shelf, and it's like a hard broccoli.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think I do.
A lot of athletes have some QBs, and then they'll go to put their helmet on, and they can't fit their broccoli in their helmet. It's a big shelf broccoli.
Yeah. Mahomes started that, I feel like.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, he's the most famous of the broccoli.
To me, always looked like he could do it because I always thought that a broccoli, maybe I'm just an a-hole or you can call me old man, but I was like, broccoli is for people of mixed race because I can't do a broccoli. I got straight white hair.
Well, that's why you got to perm it. And then
can't do it.
You have to turn it mixed race.
No, you can't. If you're not a natural Brock, you can't do it. I'm sorry.
Well, the whites want to be broccoli too.
You can't do it.
They want to be cool.
Sorry, you don't have the hair for it.
Yeah, no. Well, now you're discriminating against my son.
I am
My son is.
Does he want to be a broccoli?
He's got blonde,
straight,
thin angel hair.
Straight, yeah. He can never broccoli. No, those boys.
But he'll get a perm.
No, those boys can be okay. If you're not a broccoli and you're in the South, I'm sorry, you have to be Almond Brother. Sorry, that's just the way it goes. You're either like the cool hip hop kids that are mixed race can be broccolis, and if you're a white kid, you can love hip hop and everything else, but you can't. You got to be an Almond Brother. Just long butt cutting, just straight long hair. You got to do it. You got to do it. All right, you want to do some voicemails or emails?
Yeah,
we neglect these from time to time, and sometimes when we have these segments and we're just I want to tell you something before we go into voicemails and emails. There's a reason why I never mess with things that are important or like family heirlooms or important to the family, right?
Okay.
I have my father's Stetson cowboy hat that he wore his entire life. It's a straw hat. It's all sweaty and nasty. I wore it when you and I went to the river ranch, the Westgate River Ranch, and I wore it out there. And it is one of my most prized possessions. Well, I do this thing on Sundays called Cowboy Hat Sunday.
Yeah.
So where I wear my own cowboy hat, and I take my dog out, we drive all around, and Maisie wears her cowboy hat, and we do Cowboy Hat Sundays.
Okay.
So I got a stick in my craw. I'm like, I want to put my dad's hat band from his Stetson on my hat.
Okay.
That way, it has like his energy. It's good. You know what I mean? Like it's like his old hat. And his old hat,
it's like taking the diamond out of your grandma's ring and putting it in a new setting.
Thank you.
Because you're like, keep the nostalgia, but just a piece of it,
But
not the
change
whole
it a
thing.
little bit. Like one of the things I thought of, and you'll be either happy or unhappy to hear this, but I thought of you when you took your.
I'm always unhappy.
Well, yeah, I know you are. You took the necklace that was, from your family.
My step grandfather gave me.
Yeah, and you made it into 2 bracelets for your sons. It's like keeping it, but also changing it enough to be something for your new family, the new iteration of the Vans.
Well, I took a small portion of it and made it into a ring for crystal.
That's cool.
And then the rest wasn't big enough for a necklace anymore, so I made it into 2 bracelets.
For your sons. Yeah, I think that's
so
really
Crystal's
cool.
got some piece of it, and then my sons will have.
Yeah, so I get my dad's, and I'm like, okay, how hard can this be, right? So I look at the hat, and it's just it's a very simple band. It's not fancy. It's not crazy looking. It's cloth. A lot of them are leather. The one on my hat is like a little leather band.
You got to go to a haberdashery, right?
You would think that. No, but I steamed my own hat myself, right? Remember, I want to do it myself. All
right.
Like, plus, I wouldn't even know where to take that. Like Boot Barn or something. And I'd feel like an idiot going in there. Like, hey, can you put this? Like, I don't know. I'll do it myself. So I got my dad's hat. I was looking at it. Now, one of the things I noticed is that his hat, everything was stitched. Like the band had little, like really nicely sewn little loops of thicker, like string that it tied the hat band into the hat band.
Yeah. Oh, that hat was sewed by middle-aged Americans.
It was. Mine was glued. Mine was glued crap. Like mine when I took the leather.
It was glued by
glued crap.
A young Chinese boy.
Yeah, it was terrible. So
or girl.
I steamed the edge, and then I got the glue off, and then I had to pick all the glue off. My dad's hat, no glue, not even one spot. Everything was sewn on.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. When I went to take, because it's a brown headband, or hat band rather, and then there's a little pin that looks like a brand, and it says JBS, John B. Stetson, and it's like a little hat pin, and then behind the hat pin is a yellow, green, and red plumed feather.
Okay.
Like a beautiful feather. So I undid all the little stitches, and I'm like, okay, this is great. I took the stupid hat band off of mine, had to steam all the glue off and pick it with my finger. It looks like crap. Obviously not made the same way. When I got that hat band and I picked the hat band up, the feather just all fell apart. Shouldn't have messed with it.
Yeah,
Shouldn't have messed with it.
I
was messing with the transmission fluid in an antique truck.
Yeah. Now, can you get a replica feather?
No, I put it back together. You'll be very proud of me. The whole feather disintegrated to a point where it just wasn't, it was like bound together almost like a fly for fly fishing.
Yeah.
And the whole thing just disintegrated because apparently the way they had looped it when they made my dad's hat, it was held together. So I looped it myself with string. I was like, well, I can do this.
Okay.
So I took a little piece of string.
So like a fishing fly.
Like a fishing fly, and then I looped the string. By the way, I don't want to do this. I'm still in pain. Like, this is hard. Like, I thought it was just going to be a wham, bam, glue it on there, So I'm, wrapping the thing around there. I wrapped the feather back, and then I stuck it on there, and I don't know how to sew, so I just did my best of doing, little loops in the hat. But I got it all back together. I put a dollop of glue. I'm a little embarrassed of that, but it's the only way I knew how to keep the feather together. I put a blob of glue on it, and I squished it with my finger to really hold it on there, and then I kind of took my hands back, and I'm like, done! And it is perfect.
And it's back where you started.
It's back where we started. It's all back to good, but I can never touch that thing ever again. Or it will disintegrate.
You wanted best of both worlds. You
did.
wanted to take something nostalgic and put it on your new thing. It just, you got to leave it alone.
You got to leave it alone. I probably should have just, I don't know. It made me very, I got one of those arrhythmias. Like when that feather fell apart, as much as that hat means to me sentimentally for my dad, father, I was like, oh my God, what have you done?
Yeah.
I was also really high when I did it too. That didn't help.
Yeah. I mean, usually, the professionals, can do this better. But
what I'm asking for is such a weird old world thing. Like guys that block hats.
Oh, there's someone out there that if you said, I want this band on my new hat, I mean, it'll be perfect.
So I'm putting the call out now because I know we can find them because Florida's like little Texas. I need someone that blocks hats professionally that knows how to do this, that can do a weird job, because I would love to talk to somebody that does it.
Oh, yeah.
With the steamer, and you put the hat on there, and you move it around, and then you use the pieces of wood, and then you use your hands to put the creases in there, and then you can, you steam the sides, and then you block the sides of it.
It's called a haberdasher.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Or whatever.
Haberdashery?
There
Haberdasher?
What's like a cobbler
Is
makes
shoes,
shoes.
yeah.
So what's a hatman?
A haberdasher.
A haberdasher?
A haberdasher.
I'm sure if you just search that on Google, there's someone somewhere within, there's got to be one in the land or right outside Orlando.
But you don't see them, right? Like, you do still see shoe stores. You do still see.
It's rare, yeah. But there's got to be one old guy that does it still that has his, son got him on the internet, and now he does hats. And there's still
here's what I
there's
don't
little
want.
leathermen and people that dabble in like that kind of old school stuff that for sure you could find it on the internet.
Here's what I don't want. I don't want the ones, I don't know if this has crept into your algorithm. It has mine because of hats, right? Like a couple of weeks ago, I steamed my own hat and I kind of tacoed it a little bit. I wanted to change the shape of it, right? Now I've got this guy on my algorithm where he shapes his hats, but the crown of the hat is always a skull face, and I hate it. He does like all those like Rob Zombie like metal hats.
Yeah. People like skulls.
They do, but mostly
aggressive.
Europeans. They're mostly like, no offense, mostly Crystal's family members, all in Sweden. They love cowboy hats that have skulls on them. And they love the metal.
Wizard metal.
Oh, the Swedes love dressing with the arm bracers and stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's not only the like rave scene over there, but also
the Nordic metal scene is huge.
Yeah. The wizard metal and the Dragon Force type imagery with, wizard skulls.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah,
scarves. A lot of scarves.
Yeah.
All right. I forgot about voicemails. Here we go. Here's a first one. I believe this is from Ben with a Y.
What's up, guys? Ben with a Y here. Hey, I was hearing Tom's story about the homeless camps in the middle of the woods, and it reminded me of something that happened to me when I was in my 20s. I was dating this girl whose mother had moved in with her, and her mom was kind of a drug addict and a crackhead, so she disappeared. So nobody knew where she was at. And then I guess her sister or one of her friends said, hey, I think she's living out in this homeless camp out in the middle of the woods. So my girlfriend at the time thought it was the brilliant idea of going out there and getting her home key or house key away from her mom, because her mom had a key to her apartment. She was worried at any moment she could just break in and steal all her stuff.
So she was going to get the house key from the homeless mom that lived in the homeless camp?
I would have suggested, listen, I'm no brain surgeon, but I would have suggested, how about we just change the locks? Instead of going into the woods, into a homeless encampment, and then searching for
a
key.
Take the key, you don't have to change the locks, is what they were thinking.
Like
but I'm with you.
Viking locks can get that done. It's nothing that
Now here's something Viking locks will not do. They will not go out to a homeless camp and take the key physically from an old homeless grandma.
I mean, how much could it be to rekey? Your deadbolt in your house, not that much.
Can't be that much.
But
I don't think they thought of this.
A couple $100.
A lot of people
they didn't think of it?
No, a lot of people don't think
They're
of
like,
that.
let's go search for the key in a
because
homeless
the
camp.
lock is already, the key and the lock already exist. You see what I'm saying? So that's the solution they keyed in on, pun intended, and they can't get off of it. The changing of the locks, that never came into play.
You can you could buy a brand new lock at Home Depot.
Didn't come into play.
I mean, what's that? $38.
Okay,
one deadbolt.
He continues.
Right, and I guess, I don't know, she didn't think about changing the locks. Or maybe her landlord wouldn't let her change the locks. I'm not sure. So she's like, yeah, I'm going to go out into the woods and I'm going to get my key. And just me, in my 20s, I'm like, well, you can't go out by yourself. I'm going to have to go with you. So we get in my car, and it's in Melbourne, and it's like across from the courthouse. There were like these woods back there, and there was like this trail. So
why do all courthouses, even the one that I go to that's near the Mellow Mushroom near you, you know that courthouse?
Yeah.
That's the one where the black guy dropped the huge joint that I picked up and handed back to him, and he said, you ain't seen nothing. Remember that guy?
Okay.
Woods across the street.
Yeah.
Or there's like a field.
People, they like to flee into the woods.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need some good fleeing woods.
I drove my car down, basically as far down as I could go, because the trail kept getting narrower and narrower, to a point where I'm like, look, I need to turn my car around here. We'll leave the car here, and then we'll walk the rest of the way. So we walk into the woods. I'm not sure how far of a walk it was. I don't remember it being that far. But then it opened up to legit like a tent city in the damn woods. It was like probably 10, 15 tents in there. Mm-hmm. And her mom was sitting there, and then she starts berating her mom, like, what is wrong with you? Look at you. Look at how you're living out here with all these people. You're trash. And
I've always wanted to say that to a homeless person.
It's like, oh, please be quiet. Like, you know, you're calling all these people trash. So as she starts yelling at her mom, all these heads start popping out of these tents, right? Because these people are in the tents.
Oh, my God. It's like meerkats. They're all...
I'm like, we got to get out of here. We got to go. You know, we got to make a run for it here. So she gets the key back from her mom, and we start walking back towards...
Why did the mom give the key? If you tell me I'm trash at my homeless camp, I ain't giving you... I'm being serious. If you come to my homeless camp and you're my daughter and you call me trash in my homeless camp and you expect me to give you your key back, I'll eat the key.
Car. And as we're walking back towards the car, there's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 homeless people came out of the woods and started yelling at us for going back there and talking to her mom that way and all this stuff. I'm like, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. So we made it to the car and we hauled ass out of there. And it was single-handedly probably one of the most stupidest things I've ever done in my 20s was go back in there because we could have easily been shot or killed or whatever.
You're not going to get shot by homeless
people. We didn't have any weapons. We didn't have any. We just went back there just to get the key, I guess. Anyway, crazy story.
You're not going to get shot by homeless people, but you may get inappropriately bitten or tackled. Could be, but they're weak. A lot of them are weak.
Yeah, they're on drugs.
Yeah. They'll talk a big game. They'll talk a big game.
I've never seen a violent homeless person personally.
I had one guy that...
I've seen them yell and go, you know, with the doo-doo pants and all that, but I've never...
Even in my current state, and I've never been weaker, no homeless can beat me. Because I run on just pure anything goes. I'll run on anything goes. I'll use my cane, whatever it takes.
Also, if they had a gun, they'd pawn that for drug money.
That's what I'm saying. I never worry about that.
There's no way they're keeping it that long.
Guns, knives, samurai swords, not in play. Because they have value.
And I know what you're thinking. They'll use the gun to rob for drug money, but they know the cops know where to get them. Like, you know.
Why do you think they have little dogs with goggles? No value. Those dogs have no value.
You start dabbling in armed robbery, it's going to be real bad. So you have a gun, you're just going to pawn it. You don't need a gun. You're just trying to live and let others live.
Now, they will get the mothers back, and this is going to be a hot take. They should. If you're in the homeless camp, you're down for the homeless camp. I support those guys coming out of the woods, getting the moms back. You came in there and started berating her, okay?
Yeah, she's their friend.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You should be, I mean, there is some sort of nobleness to the camaraderie there.
Thank you.
That you should appreciate.
That's why you and I will make good homeless. We will make good homeless. Because we know the rules. I know the rules.
I met some homeless people in my adventures. Throughout, the radio.
Oh yeah, some of them work for the station.
There was,
hey,
I was talking to a lot more homeless people when I would go out and do radio.
Closer to homeless.
Like the man on the street bit.
Yeah, well, the listeners that listen to radio are only 3 notches above homeless.
Well, some of them were homeless.
Yes.
And because
prisoners, homeless, they love radio.
Radios are cheap, and you could carry lots of people give free radios.
It's free. Turn it on. Put it in your ears.
And a lot of them, you don't even need batteries. You could wind them. A lot of weather radios in Central Florida end up, the homeless get them. So every time I go out, man on the street, I'd be out there, Drunky the Bear. They're also attracted to Drunky the Bear.
I love Drunky the Bear.
Yeah. It's like,
hey, y'all want to see Drunky the Bear go crazy? Give me a hand. Yeah, all right.
Hey,
everybody, we got Drunky the Bear. Then sometimes they start doing your job. That was my favorite, is when you'd be down there to, like, hold a sign for, like, see who can like wash more cars, and the homeless friend, you make a homeless friend and he starts assisting you more than what you're even doing, because he's like, hey, I can be on the radio too.
It was like when Tyson Fury made it to heavyweight champ. He was a gypsy, and all the gypsies, he was the king of the gypsies because he rose up and became world famous.
Clown Prince.
Yeah, so I was kind of the king of the homeless, Drunky the Bear.
You were.
They liked getting drunk, and they're like, this guy's a fool, and no one respects him. Same with me.
Homeless people to do stuff.
Yeah, and then so when I was out there, I met one guy who claimed to be the king of the homeless here in Central Florida. Yeah, and then you interviewed him on the show, whatever. And he had money at one point, then lost it all multiple times. And he nice guy.
Yeah.
And it seems like the higher echelon homeless, like the higher ups in the homeless community, live in the woods, and the lower homeless, they are sporadic around town, like living where they can.
Well, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. The ones
that's amateur hour. If you're on the streets, it's amateur hour. If you're in the woods, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, because they have an encampment and they have strength in numbers, and they all can get together and have meetings and then plan.
Communication is key.
Yeah. If you're single and by yourself, solo homeless,
you can't do that.
You have no support.
No.
You need a group of homeless to band together.
Which means you're going to have to be a little vulnerable, which is going to be hard. But you're going to have to offer up some pieces of you. You have to have skin in the game in order to do it. You have really been, you really set the internet on fire with your hot take on tipping Uber Eats drivers. Over the weekend, my wife and daughter were at a dance competition that I was not able to attend, but I was watching online. And I was starved, and we didn't have any food, and my wife begged me to Uber Eat, and I did not. I went to bed without food. I will not do it. I can skip a meal. I'm fat. It's fine. I can skip a meal.
Yeah, but why not?
I will not. Because I have a record of never Uber eating. I haven't.
What about DoorDash?
No DoorDash, no Postmates. I've never done it, and I will not do it. And I'm holding to.
Well, you've gotten a pizza delivered, right?
That doesn't count.
Yeah, but what's the difference between?
There is no difference other than my record. Okay,
all right.
And I want to hold my record.
Well, you could order from a pizza place.
Pizza feels like more of a value because, like, a pizza, you get a pizza, it's like $17.99, right? Which we all know is expensive. But you get a burger, and they're like, "Oh, this burger, that's $22.50." Well, hold on a goddamn second, $22.50.
Well, what about
you're paying for the rarity of the food?
Does it count if you call a pizza place and order a non-pizza item for delivery, like a burger?
I've never done that.
Because
they would do that. Now, what kind of monster would order a burger from a pizza place?
I mean, they have.
What are you, a homeless man?
What I'm saying, would that break the streak of you never getting Uber Eats if you got different food item from a pizza establishment from their personal drivers?
No, it has to be Uber Eats.
Okay, so the personal store drivers don't count under your weirdo
but I've never done your weirdo buy a burger at a pizza place or buy something non-pizza at a pizza place.
Well, I'm just saying,
if I go pizza, I get pizza. I'm a patriot, and that's what patriots do. Let me get another one of these voicemails. This is the one. All right, so we got a couple Uber Eats ones. I had to weed out a ton of them because we got emails, we got voicemails, tons.
What's up, guys? Ben with a Y here. Hey, I'm just chiming in on the Uber Eats from the Friday Free Show on how much you're supposed to tip. Now, I do know that I don't tip on percentage of sale. What I tip on is distance to my house. Because, like Tom said, I don't think those guys care if they're picking up one bag or 100 bags. If they're just picking up a bag and they're dropping it off, what they care about is the gas is going to take them to get from point A to point B. So if I'm just being a lazy POS and I'm ordering Chick-fil-A that's 1 mile up the street because I'm too lazy to drive, that's a $5 tip, bro. I'm sorry, you're only going a mile from point A to point B. But if I want to get something that's, 10, 15, 20 miles away, then I'm going to tip based on the mileage. So I'm going to give maybe that's a $10 tip, or if it's a little bit further, and then it's going to be a $20 tip.
You're ordering from a restaurant 20 miles away.
You stole it right out of my mouth. A 20-mile away restaurant.
The driver has to drive to get it to my house.
Okay, all right. So, Ben, listen.
I thought of this, too. I would order a Tom's Pizza from DeLand if they delivered, but they don't deliver 63 miles to my door.
I saw another BDM describe, you should tip based on distance from your house. Okay, that's fine.
That's not even in my algorithm.
But
what's
the I guess the difference, are we talking anything above 5 miles is how much dollars extra than 5? Like if 5 is a standard, then we're
he didn't get past 5.
yeah. Then now you're talking 20? That's absurd. You're like,
20.
What if it's like
$20?
6 miles?
First, two things are absurd there.
One extra mile.
$20 for a 20. You got a steak that's 20 miles away and you tip $20 on it. You're an insane person.
Also, a mile of gas is like 38 cents or something. Like we have good gas efficiency nowadays in cars, so it's like not that much more. Like so, it's 7 miles. So I go from 5 double to 10? No. $6.
I think
maybe.
he complicated it even more because I think he's going to go like $5. Now you're $6. Now you're $7. Now you're. It's just okay.
Yeah. And
that's why the percentages make sense to me, because it's just the number, and I get the ease of the $5 too. I get it. It's convenient to just be like, okay, that's it, it's $5. All right.
Well, the percentage of the actual total of the food makes no sense if you're just tipping the delivery driver, because everybody, and I think I saw this universally agreed, a bag's a bag. There's no difference in what's inside of it as far as the delivery driver goes. You're just delivering a bag.
This guy, I think, agreed with you. I can't remember. Let's go with this guy.
All right, listening to the most recent Friday Free Show from the 11th here of April, and you guys are talking about DoorDash tipping with Ross Paget. I'm kind of on both sides, but I'm more leaning on Tom here, coming back from having run pizza places in the past. The best tip was always the $5 tip. Like every driver, you want a $5 tip. That's when gas was even cheaper. I'm with Tom on this one. A good flat, no matter kind of what you're ordering, a $5 tip. Now, where I'm with Dan and Ross a little bit is I do modify that sometimes. If I've been drinking, I'm not going to go drive and go pick up Burger King, but that's literally like a 5 to 10 block distance from my place. So I might only give like a $3 tip because they're not driving that far.
Oh my God, this guy's the exact opposite of what Brendan with a Y said. There's so many different variations of this that we're never going to standardize.
But also, yes, the Burger King's right near your house, but where are they coming from? They have to drive from wherever they are, and then it's impossible to know.
Well, they're certainly not by your house. That'd be ridiculous to even assume. Unless your next door neighbor is your Uber driver.
So your whole logic of distance is flawed because they're driving to the Burger King, then to your house. They're not at the Burger King like, oh, I'm only going 2 blocks. It's like wherever they're at when they accept the order that's when it starts their driving distance.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So if they happen to be, say, like, way further, if the restaurant's way further from you, but they happen to be close to it, that could even be closer than they would be if the Burger King was next door to your house, depending on where they accept the order.
No, I get what you're saying.
A paradox here. Yeah. It's a 5, just do 5 standard for everything.
No, I still like my percentages. It's fine. Because it's easy for me. Like, I know how to
You don't even do this, so you can't chime in. You're outside of the system.
I'm just saying when I do get something, I tip.
You say you're never going to get it.
Oh, I'm never going to get Uber Eats, but I'm just saying when I do pizza, I still do my 20%. At least 20%.
Oh, you do 20% on pizzas?
Yeah, always. I always do that.
So
I thought I made that clear. I always do the 10 and 10. Like if it's $75, $10, 10% of that is $7.50.
Pizzas for a birthday party.
20%.
And it's like
I do 20% on that.
$200.
I do 20% on that.
So you're doing a $40,
Yeah, I do 10% of the $200. $20.
What'd you tip for those $300 of
20%.
20%?
Yeah, I always tip
That's
20%.
too much.
I always tip 20%.
Yeah, but that's way too much.
Well, I mean, it's
20% of $300.
That money's gone. You'll have to stop me next time.
Well, no wonder your wife doesn't let you do anything
no one can stop
with money because you're wasting it.
No, it's fine.
You're wasting money.
Nobody at our pinball meetup, and some of them are in the chat room, no one said I wasted anything. In fact, they said that those pizzas made the event better.
That is,
because it was premium pizza. It wasn't just BS pizza.
Yeah, they could have eaten Papa John's.
No, I don't like speaking for people. I don't like speaking for people. I like to treat them well.
I looked in everybody's eyes, including I looked in the mirror, and I said, we all could eat Papa John's. We're not this fancy.
Oh, they're very fancy. They love it. Let's try this one from DeBerry Joe. He has had it, folks.
All right, so here's one. If it only takes $1 to get a homeless person to leave Tom Van alone, how much do I have to pay these annoying-ass old people that don't pay me a damn thing, that just want to stand over me and give me just little helpful tips and tricks on how to fix this sprinkler head that I'm working on? It's my job. I know what I'm doing, and I'm trying to just dig in the dirt. Got my podcast playing, and this jolly old couple, they just will not leave me alone. And they're making it worse. What should I do? How much money on the Tom Van scale should I offer them to walk away?
This kind of falls into tipping, I thought. Like, how much money can DeBerry Joe... I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I believe he's moving away because he's had it so much. He got an offer to move away to the Carolinas, and DeBerry Joe said, the yard business, I am out. I'm done with these old people and podcasts, and I'm out of here.
Yeah, but as a guy, I've done a lot of this in my life where I like to stand and talk to the person that's doing the work. Now,
you don't do it with me when I'm doing stuff in here, and I appreciate that.
Well, I only do it when the person's doing the work for, a deep discount because they listen to the show, and then I think they want
friendship value.
Me to tell them stories and talk to them because that's why they're giving me a discount. They don't want to just show up at my house. I'm not even there.
Yeah.
Like if I...
Has anyone ever asked for the stories?
No one's
okay.
ever.
That's what makes it great, though, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like to ask for it is like inviting a vampire into a dwelling. I feel like you're not supposed to do that.
Like I listen to Ross Tucker's football podcast, and so let's say one day I do some work over his house because
what skill are you providing Ross Tucker?
I could do some light irrigation work.
Okay. He's like, hey Tom, it's me, Ross Tucker. My sprinklers are too good right now. I want them to be a little janky.
I can plant some plants.
Some flooding.
Like, let's say I hear Ross Tucker on the show.
Can I get some gutter flooding or some stolen palm trees?
And he's like, my backyard looks like crap. I want an oasis.
Oh, and your eyes light up.
And then I text him. I'm email him. I'm like, I can make you an oasis.
No, you text him. You got his number.
I do, yeah. I text him. I was like, I can make you once, So then
how would you address it? Would you be like, hey, Ross, it's old TV.
Yeah.
You may remember me. You've been on my podcast.
No, he knows. He remembers.
I heard you talking about your backyard, and it embarrassed me that a fellow sportsman and athlete like you, I'm an athlete too. I'm an ultra marathoner.
So then,
you need to start slipping that in. It will go a long way with fellow athletes.
I got this limp foot.
Don't talk about that, dude. Do you think I talk about the fact that I can barely walk? I don't say nothing. I don't say nothing.
You've talked about it all for months.
No, but like that.
Months.
No, they don't see it though. When I'm in my car, I look fine.
So if I show up to his house with a bunch of palm trees in my truck.
That's going to look really redneck, by the way.
And then he never comes out into the backyard to talk to me.
Would you come out if you saw a hillbilly in a truck with a bunch of palm trees hanging out the back?
I'm doing it. I'm like, hey, I get you these stolen palm trees at a discount, and then I'll plant them, and then I'll set up the irrigation. Like
okay, we're mean to each other a lot, but real talk, you've talked so much about stolen palm trees, you got me wanting one.
Well, you have no,
I want to put one on my patio. Can you get little ones? A little stolen palm tree?
It's only big
And then when it gets big enough, I'll give it to you.
No.
And then you put a plaque up, and then you put a plaque up for Maisie or for Dan when I die. And it's the palm tree that goes in the back. It's like a memorial palm tree for me.
I guess you could use a bamboo palm or a lady palm that doesn't need full sun.
I see what you did with the lady palm joke. You calling me a lady palm?
But it's not going to grow.
Want to hear a drunk person that thinks I'm funny?
Anyway, my point being, if Ross Tucker never comes out and tells me any sort of stories about the NFL or, the time he was on the Patriots and Belichick.
About the time I pulled down
Tom
Deion
Brady.
Sanders' pants.
I want to hear about some shenanigans in the locker room.
I put icy hot in Deion Sanders' jockstrap.
Yeah, I want to hear about some sort of some player.
Remember Merlin Olsen? One time he took a crap in Dick Butkus's gym bag.
Yeah. You got to tell me some old NFL stories, something. You got to, come talk to me. And then
Belichick tried to grow a mustache one time. We clowned him.
If you never came out, then I'm like, this is a waste of time. Then I'm mad forever. You scam me
forever,
Tucker. You scam me because you never. Everybody knows it's this. It's kind of an unspoken thing. But if you're a radio DJ and you ask for some sort of free something from your listeners, you have to hang out with them while they do it for free.
And you give them we call it the persona. You got to give them the persona.
You got to tell them some stories. You got to hang around, whatever.
Oh, give them I'll give them a bear dance.
Give them your cell phone number.
You think
tell
them
something personal.
You're like, dude, this meant so much to me.
Yeah.
You
give
go,
a
thank
hug.
you so much. You give them a hug.
Yeah. And then
when they drive away, you're like,
and it's the perfect transaction.
Yeah. You want to hear a guy that thinks I'm funny who's drunk?
Yeah.
Okay, I've gone back to the pen several times, and that's probably not good. But Dan, you and I are the same age, and your comedy and your wit is fucking so legend, dude. Damn. My knees are going out. I think I need some new knees. You just had a new hip. It's this thing. It's this thing, and fucking a couple decades I get to fucking enjoy you, dude, and your fucking menagerie.
That's 4.
So, Here's to another pen and another pen. Penn and Teller.
I do like that the Penn and Teller joke at the end was dumb. It's the only thing that saved it.
I'm glad it's happening to you now.
Oh, yeah.
My knees don't work. I can't walk. I'm handicapped like you, Dan.
Yeah, I got the army of sitos.
I like that.
He called back. Okay. Let's see what this one was.
Yo, you guys are so fucking vulnerable. I just smoked a pen for the first time in so many years, and you guys are so beautiful. Like, you got the new Ross on, and like, he says only good things can be spoiled. Like, I'm just too high to convey. Fucking Tom wants to give his sons dreams. They don't have dreams, but he just wants. It's so much. I love you guys.
All right. Is that good?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He sounded conflicted,
It's
right?
so much. What
I
does
do
that
like
mean?
his voicemail. Just next time, sir, try not to curse as much because I do have to go in and manipulate that audio because there is some semblance of the FCC, which we don't even know if there is. So
it's also not that much of a compliment when you're so stoned that you could barely put together a sentence, and that's when you find us the most funny.
Yeah.
You find anything funny stoned.
That's true. If you were like, I want you to be
You're
like,
blasted.
you know what? I just backed over my own daughter.
Yeah,
in my driveway,
dead sober,
like Stephen Curtis Chapman, the Christian singer,
come on.
and I murdered her. And I'm being brought up on charges. And you know what? I just heard the show, and it turned me around.
That's a compliment.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought my world was closing in on me, and I thought my wife was divorcing me. It was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. I just didn't look behind me. I was distracted. Too much God. Killed her good. And, right? And then, but I heard this show, and the little guy. I heard that little guy and his wit. And you know what? I got a bad hit. And I'm just like him. Thanks for that. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you listening.
You want to do one more?
Yeah.
All right. This is about, let's see how this works here.
Tom and Dan, Friday Free Show. Tom was talking about wanting to catch a pass from like Dan Marino or an NFL quarterback. When I was a teenager, I kind of got that chance. My dad had a big party and clients and friends came by, and one of them was at the time backup NFL quarterback Dave Craig at the end of his 3-time Pro Bowl, 19-year career where he led the NFL in completion percentage in 1991, Seahawks Ring of Honor, and this dude's got the all-time record for most yards lost on being sacked. And so he showed up at my dad's party, and he didn't want to hang out with the adults and drink and smoke, so, Casey and the Sunshine Band, he hung out with me and my teenage friends, and we threw a couple passes, and we played one-on-one basketball or pickup basketball like all night, and it was pretty sweet, and obviously I still remember it. He hooked it up with some hats and footballs later on,
That's
which
cool.
was very cool.
This is the story you want, right? This is it. Like, he hung out with him, he partied with him, he gave him memorabilia, and treated him like he was an equal.
Yes.
This is what you wanted, man.
I want this from a famous quarterback, not some no-name backup.
He's a Pro Bowler. Pro Bowler.
Have you heard of this person?
No. Also, it sounded like he said Daniel Craig.
Yeah. And are you talking about any time in the past 10 years Pro Bowl? Because that means nothing now. Only the 90s Pro Bowl means something.
Yeah, we got one more. Let's do this one right here.
BDM Neil here, listen to the most recent Friday Free Show while I finish up work, and I remember the 90s David Blaine. My favorite was when he would do something crazy for essentially the black people, and they would just be like, oh, bro, you see this? Oh, and they would just go in absolutely bonkers when he threw the card against the window and then the card goes on the inside, or he levitates and they just freak out. Some of it's some of my favorite memories of Magic. Love y'all. Peace.
It was the first, I think it was the first for our generation, the first like true
Street magic.
Street magic. It was like it was our magic. It started our magic.
Yeah, because all the other magic specials were like David Copperfield with...
It was old people stuff.
They're doing Walk Through the Great Wall of China, Statue of Liberty disappear. It was on stage
as foreign
with
to me as a Celebrity Cruise or a Viking River Cruise. That was for old people.
And you missed the funniest part of all that is the differences in the other cultures and how stereotypical they were too, because the white people were just
like a hillbilly takes his hat off, scratches his head.
They would just be frozen in boring amazement. You see what I mean? They were so bored, they wouldn't react at all. They would just freeze.
Good God.
Like the most boring people in the world. And then the group of Asians he did it in front would just clap politely.
Yeah.
Like, they were just all clapping
Like
unison politely.
a simple and respectful bow.
And then, I don't know if he did that on purpose, but it was definitely it seemed like an emphasis on like, hey, we're showing the different cultures,
right?
And how they react to street magic on purpose.
You're hitting my memory hard. So you're talking, and we can hit this real quick before we get out of here. We're talking about racial, like doing things on purpose. Did you know that the Yellow Ranger and Black Ranger from Power Rangers were both? The Yellow Ranger was an Asian woman, and Black Ranger was a black man. But it was an intern.
Oh, I know.
but it was an intern there that was like,
and Wheels was in a wheelchair.
No, it was an intern there that was like, oh, why'd you do this? And they're like, what do you mean, why'd we do this? Now, this could be fake.
Pure accident.
But they were like, well, no, we just did it. And then the showrunner, I think at the time, came out last week and said, well, this was a mistake. The black guy that played Black Ranger, he's like, no, it wasn't. He was like, at a time when Asians and black people weren't getting representation, he's like, you put us on the biggest stage and we were great at what we did. There are different ways to look at it.
But did they think at all about the Yellow and Black Ranger and then who they were casting as the actor, or was it totally random, just happenstance?
So what had happened was the original Yellow Ranger was cast and was not Asian. And because of a scheduling conflict, she fell out of the production. They moved in the Asian girl, and it just happened to be. That's the story I was told. Could not be true, but... You know, that's the story I was told.
I believe it. Now, if you're the producer or director of Power Rangers, like once this happens and then once they, like, you know, you go in for shoot and you're like, wait a minute, just switch the pink and the yellow, you know? Like,
right.
You're like, someone's going to, but no one really, I never heard of that as like a outcry of, hey, they did this on purpose.
I don't think it was a thing. I think it's a thing now because people like to invent things that are sort of hot button. But that's what the Black Ranger was saying. He actually came out and said, like, I didn't think this was bad because we were doing stuff at the time. Like, they're still very beloved.
Of course. It's stupid.
It's a nothing.
And also, it's like, it does make sense that the Black Ranger is black.
Right, it's fine with me. I mean, like, I don't care. They're Power Rangers. Who cares?
And the White Ranger's white. It's like, all right. Does anybody?
Well, the chat room asked, was the Red Ranger an Indian dude? It's like, no.
That's too far.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get out of here, you monster.
You know, we don't want racist people listening to the show.
You know what? Delete your account. You're no listener of mine.
Well, delete it next month.
Yeah, wait a little bit.
I had a lot of expenses this month, so
wait a little bit.
Actually, just wait.
Just keep it.
Yeah,
and just think about what you did and not do it again.
Yeah. And now
we're good with it.
Now that I think about it, I don't.
It's
your own
life.
business.
Yeah, it's your life.
How you think is your own business.
That's true.
And you know what? I'll even go further. I'll say some racist jokes that'll make you laugh, as long as you keep being a BDM.
Native American Red Ranger. Okay, sure.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
That was a silly, ridiculous segment. Where's that go?
That's Tuesday 3 and 4. I got a call real quick.
Yeah. I think we can actually squeeze it in there. Hold on.